Zach Wilson had a really disappointing rookie season. He only threw 9 touchdowns, 11 interceptions, completed 55.6% of his passes, and threw for 2,334 passing yards. Brady Quinn was on the CBS Sports Network a couple of days ago, and he basically said that he doesn't believe in Zach Wilson. He thinks that the New York Jets are most likely going to be in the market for another quarterback next season, rather that be via free agency or the draft. And I am really high on Zach Wilson. And I understand that his rookie campaign was a major disappointment, but almost every single rookie quarterback who was drafted in the first round had a disappointing rookie campaign other than Mac Jones. If you were to tell me that Davis Mills was going to be better than Trevor Lawrence, Zach Wilson, Justin Fields, Trey Lance, I would have laughed at your face. Honestly. Davis Mills, nothing against Davis Mills, but not too many people knew who Davis Mills was during the draft process unless you were a diehard draft fan, because I already know how a lot of you guys are. You're going to say, well, JT, I was high on Davis Mills. I already know a lot of you guys watch a lot of tape and a lot of film, so you probably saw how good Davis Mills was before many of us saw it. However, for Zach Wilson, the offensive line was awful because you had an injury to Mekhi Becton really early in the year. He was done. He got sacked 44 times last season. The New York Jets improved their offensive line. They brought in Laken Tomlinson, who is one of the better offensive guards available in free agency. You also are going to have Mekhi Becton coming back fully healthy. He's expected to move to right tackle. George Fant is going to be playing left tackle this year, supposedly. That's what the rumors are coming out of New York. So the offensive line should be really good. This is probably the best offensive line that the New York Jets have had and over the last couple of seasons. Not to mention, you're going to have Elijah Vera Tucker going into year 2 with the franchise. Then you bring in Breece Hall, you pair him up with Michael Carter. You're going to have a really good 1-2 punch there. You're going to have CJ Uzomah there at tight end, which CJ Uzomah could end up breaking out. The only reason he was kind of held back was he was sharing so many targets in Cincinnati. He had to deal with Tyler Boyd, T. Higgins, Jamar Chase, So it wasn't really a lot of balls being thrown his way compared to the other wide receivers who he was competing against. With the Jets, he has an opportunity to thrive, end up being one of the better tight ends that we have in the game. So for Zach Wilson, you have an improved offensive line. The wide receiver position is improved. You draft Garrett Wilson in this past year's NFL draft. Then you pair him up with Elijah Moore, who is expected to have a breakout year. Corey Davis missed pretty much half the season. When he's healthy, he's a really good number 2. He also can be your number 1 if need be, but he is a really great number 2 wide receiver. So of all the weapons that Zach Wilson has at his disposal this year, it's no reason why he shouldn't improve. And on top of that, when you go back and you watch Zach Wilson play last season, the game was going really fast for him. And you could tell that. Even though I wasn't in his shoes, I didn't have the helmet on, everything was just a blur for him. Because sometimes it looks like he would just drop back and just throw the football. And I already know for all you smart Alexes out there who are going to say, well, duh, JT, he's a quarterback. Ain't that what he's supposed to do? You know what I mean? He was literally going back and just throwing the football to whoever. And then it looked like he was going through his progressions properly, making the wrong reads. Going into year 2, the game should slow down for him. And then with Mike LaFleur as his offensive coordinator, he's going to be able to sit down. You're going to have another offseason to implement some new things, go back and watch film. Zach Wilson is being heavily slept on by a lot of people. And I don't understand why he continues to get so much hate, because we had like Trevor Lawrence didn't have a poor rookie season. Despite being a number 1 overall pick, he was supposed to be a generational talent at quarterback. Couldn't really overcome bad coaching with Urban Myers and not really having that good of a team. Same thing with Justin Fields. So for the majority of the first round quarterbacks last season, other than Mac Jones, all of them were underwhelming, which is why I'm not really understanding why Zach Wilson is just getting so much hate and why people don't think he's going to succeed, because his counterparts that he had last season were not that great. So this season, you look at the Jets and what they done this offseason, they pretty much have said, hey, Zach, you got a better team. You got a better supporting cast. We're going to give you the keys to the Lamborghini. Don't wreck out. And I don't think that the Jets need Zach Wilson to have an MVP caliber season. I'm so tired of people saying, oh, JT, Zach Wilson needs to go off this year. He needs 30-plus touchdowns and blah, blah, blah. He doesn't need that. You got to remember that Mike LaFleur is somebody who puts a lot of emphasis on running the football. This is not a offense that is going to be predicated on Zach Wilson 95% of the time. He's not going to have to carry this team. He is somebody who's probably going to be throwing the football around 25 times a game. The Jets want to run the football down your throat, and they want to dominate you up front. And then when they get the run game going, when you get tired out trying to tackle Michael Carter and Breece Hall, then they're going to beat you over the top via play action, which is where Zach Wilson is at his best. When he's rolling out outside the pocket is where he makes some of his best plays. You go back and you watch his BYU tape. Where was Zach Wilson playing the best football at? Outside the pocket. Where was Zach Wilson at his best last season? Outside of the pocket. So when you get the play action game going, Zach Wilson, bootlegs, outside the pocket, throwing darts and dimes, 40, 50 yards downfield to Corey Davis and Garrett Wilson. You have the big playability of Garrett Wilson also. He was tabbed as either the most explosive wide receiver or the second most explosive wide receiver, depending on who you ask, because you also have Jameson Williams in that same conversation. So with the explosiveness of the wide receiving core and the improvement of the offensive line, I think that Zach Wilson is going to have a really good second year. I think he's probably going to throw 24 touchdowns, have 11 interceptions, and he's going to complete 62% of his passes. That's my stat line prediction for Zach Wilson. I don't think that Zach Wilson is going to have this crazy off-the-wall season when he has a Patrick Mahomes-like second season. And I think too many people have Patrick Mahomes and what he did year 2 with Kansas City, and they just hold everybody up to those expectations. You got to understand that everybody's system is differently. I don't think that Zach Wilson is going to have the kind of passing volume that Patrick Mahomes had his second year when he went off and won MVP with the Chiefs. I think that the Jets are still going to be a team that's going to be predicated on running the football. And there's nothing wrong with that. Why does everybody think that your offense just has to really just run through your quarterback? Your offense can run through the run game. It can run through a bunch of different ways. I'm just so tired of people with this drawn out narrative that Zach Wilson just has to have this superstar-like season, even though that's what you drafted him to be. But I just think that the expectations kind of don't really make a lot of sense considering the structure of the kind of offense that the Jets are looking to run with offensive coordinator Mike LaFleur. But you guys let me know what are your expectations for Zach Wilson in year 2. I think he's going to take a big step in the right direction. And if he can give you 24 touchdowns and only 11 interceptions, that is a major improvement. Because this is somebody who threw more interceptions than TDs last season. Improvement is improvement, no matter how small or how large. I'm excited about Zach Wilson. I'm a big believer in Zach Wilson. I'm so tired of people coming down on him with all this criticism and not holding other players such as Trevor Lawrence and Justin Fields to the same standard. Why is it that nobody believes in Zach Wilson, but we still have so much faith in Justin Fields and Trevor Lawrence? Doesn't really make a lot of sense to me. It seems like people are just hating on Zach Wilson just to hate, but I'm rooting for him. I hope he proves everybody wrong this year. You guys let me know how good you guys think Zach Wilson is going to be with New York this upcoming season in 2022. And I appreciate you for listening to this episode of the JT Sports Podcast. Remember, every video that's uploaded on the channel is available in audio format on every single podcasting platform: Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify Podcasts, wherever you get your podcasts from. The JT Sports Podcast is available. I will see you guys with another episode shortly.